Hello, welcome to my channel. I hope this is the first video you end up seeing. It probably won't be, but I'm going to try to make this as kind of an intro for my channel. Try to find a way to make it like the splash page in some way. I don't know if YouTube will let me like pin it. I am not an expert at this video making stuff, so bear with me as I learn and grow. My name is Logan. I run this little thing called Shinagamiartstudio. Um, this is the YouTube portion of it. I'm on other places too. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Reddit. Uh, so if you're seeing this and this is the first video, and again, I hope you're checking this out first. Uh, if you feel like it, let me know where you found me from. I'm just kind of curious. I really doubt the algorithm is that favorable to me. It usually isn't for most, but I am just genuinely curious where you found me from. So yeah, this is my channel. Lots of stuff going on this channel. Let's touch on some of the main stuff. So first and foremost, for this channel and my other things that under this label, we do art stuff here. I make a lot of robots and monsters, but there are not really any limits I impose upon myself. It's just a matter of creating cool stuff. Down the road, I'd like to do a little more, maybe some music stuff, bring that back as I used to do it a lifetime ago. Like to bring that back, just set no limits on ourselves on like what we can create. I teach stuff. So whether it is here on the channel, whether I'm teaching you how to make a cool robot, like I have been doing here recently, or whatever at my job, I teach people how to use the product at my job. I teach people. I like to teach people. I'm not the best teacher in the world, but I have a passion for trying to find a way to make stuff make sense for people. That's why I like to teach. Try to find, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, like a common ground of a thing that you may understand or a concept you understand, relay it to the current thing I'm trying to show you, so it makes sense. Taking feedback, you telling me like what part of what process confuses you, So it's very important if you have a moment in my comments, if you're like, I see you working on this project. This is one thing in that kind of project that confuses me that I don't understand how to do. Letting me know that makes me be able to do more of what I want, which is fill in those blanks for you guys. If it's something I'm explaining and you need more elaboration, if you need a better way to look at it, let me know too, and then I can improve that too. But that's what I do both in my professional career and in my art career, is I like to teach people stuff. And we do a lot more than art on here, which you'll find out. I have a lot of things that are important to me, because the reason I am into my art is it's just kind of one of my purposes in life. I am not some cheeseball fucking motivational speaker or anything like that. I'm just a dude that's lived a very difficult life, and it's taught me a lot of important things. And I hope that I can hand you those lessons so you can learn the important things without going through what I've had to go through. And I hope it makes your life better. So I'm not here to sell you any product. I'm not here to, fucking turn you into some rise and grind influencer or some stupid shit. I'm just here to do the best I can to make other people's lives better. It's all I really care about in that. But I have some thoughts. I have some perspectives. It comes from a lot of things that I've been educated on through either the life lessons that I've learned or from my mentors and my therapist, and et cetera, et cetera. Some key things that I will say that needs to be considered that I think I will probably go more into depth on, I think will benefit people. Something I've noticed a lot in people's lives is that they don't seem to understand a purpose or have a purpose or have a lot of those things figured out. A lot of people are just kind of meander through life, and if you really don't feel like you have a purpose, then it's kind of hard to have a motivation to get up in the morning and do whatever it is that you need to do, whether it's to become better at making art, whether it's to be a better accountant, whether it's to be a whatever you give a shit about. It's not about the money, it's about what you care about, your purpose. What is that thing in life that you really want out of life? Because you only have so much time on this earth. What do you want to do with it? That is your purpose. There is no right or wrong answer there. It may be to be, a beautiful purpose is to be a caring parent. But you have to like actually think about this and ask that question. If you don't do that, you're selling yourself short and you're wasting time. Um, Figuring out whatever your purpose is will tend to lead to a more satisfying life. It tends to lead towards more drive. It tends to lead towards more satisfaction when you understand what's important to you. May seem like kind of a common sense thing, but what I have learned in life through all the different things I've had to learn through like therapy and meditation and just the trials of and tribulations of life is that there are a lot of things that we think we just do. There's a lot of things that we think we have a wrap on, but in reality, we pretty much live most of our lives like sleepwalking. And if you don't have a firm grasp on your purpose in life, um, you're not really like living that to your full potential. I have, I guess you would call it my belief in my mantra. This may have come from somebody before me. I don't know, but it seems to kind of be like my, I don't know, catchphrase or whatever. I don't really think that I can give it to any one of my teachers. I just don't know, and it's possible. Anyway, I have a belief, and my belief is the following: is that there are two versions of a person. There is the person that you are, and the person that you want to be. And the closer in harmony those two are, the more at peace you will be in your life. Um, so yeah, that's the thing. You know, there's lots of things that we wish we were doing better, we want to be better at, and finding harmony in your life is bringing those two together and asking those questions like what there's where you're going to start to find your purpose. Like what is it you really want in your life that you're just not doing? mm you got to ask yourself that. For me, I can talk about mine, you know, this channel, teaching people stuff, making cool stuff, learning to get better at making cool stuff, sharing it with other people that like that stuff. You know, I one day I'm hoping that my part of my purpose is going to be to have a family. I want to raise a kid or kids one day and impart these values to them and just raise a little person and teach them about the world and put a new good person in the world, because there's plenty of people being put in the world, but we don't have a shortage of people being put in the world that are putting good in the world. And I want to give that to the world through myself, through my family. It's important to me. That's one of my purposes. So yeah, purpose is an important thing to understand, as well as just, you know, the intent and the motivation, because obviously it's another thing that most people suffer with is the intent and the motivation. Like what is your intentions and what are your motivations? And a lot of that comes from starting to learn yourself. Um, a lot of you, myself included, have walked through life and just not really understood why we do the things we do, why we are the way we are, why we feel about certain things. And that comes from a lack of understanding. That can be remedied by learning yourself, learning your situation and understanding it. That should really be a main goal for you, for anyone out there, is learning yourself. What makes you tick? What do you care about? What are your core beliefs? You know, if you start to get a wrap on those, the rest of the things sort to tend to fall in place, specifically like your motivation. You know, it all has to start to become intentional, whether you're focusing your laser light of your perspective on, I'm going to learn how to paint non-metallic metals. You focus that laser beam on that one project and you work and work and work. And as you do that, you will get better. I am not special compared to any other person. I mean, I'm different. I'm a unique person, but like, there's nothing about me that's like special. I wasn't born talented. I simply figured these things out and I learned how to focus that laser light on some things, which have given me where I am now. You can do the exact same thing. There's nothing that I do here that you can't do. It's just a matter of if you want to do it and then figuring out how to do those things by putting in the effort. And yeah, it's an important thing to understand. You've got to understand yourself and your motivation, who you are. Got to figure out who you are. Because what unfortunately happens if you live your life in autopilot is that things happen and then you're not happy of the results. You're not happy about who you were. You're not happy about how you reacted in the situation. You're not happy about a lot of things in hindsight. And that's because you weren't in control. what unfortunately tends to happen is that our brain is just it's there, and if you're not driving your life, your brain's driving your life, and if you don't understand your brain's going to make a lot of decisions that you're not going to be happy with, and you may believe that you're beyond that, that you're better than that, that oh, I'm different. No, you are not. No one is immune to this, and if you believe otherwise, you're fucking lying to yourself. I'm sorry, you need to hear that. Our brains will make really bad decisions until we start to understand them, and make a big mess of things. But the good news is that can be fixed. But that can be work with meditation. That can be work with a mental health therapist, which, man, I can't recommend enough. Changed my life forever. Both of those things, actually. Learn yourself, try to figure out your baggage and deal with it. And it's a long journey. It's a hard journey, but it's worth it. It's hard to see up front, but in the rearview mirror, it's a lot more obvious. And that makes it one of the hardest things, is to have that faith and put in that work to say, I know I'm not going to see 100% rewards today, but I have to understand that it's a long journey, and I have to understand that it requires building positive habits to change the old habits that didn't serve me before, to change the old behaviors that didn't serve me before. It's living a life with intent. It's waking up. It is. It's weird. I don't mean like the wake up sheeple thing. I mean like we really are just so unaware of like how we drift through our lives. It is finite. Every day is a gift. You don't know how many days you're going to get on this earth. We have kind of a rough idea if something bad don't happen, but something bad can happen at any point in time. And that can be a big motivator. For me, that's a large motivator of, I am very aware, and I think about intention. I think about every day what I would feel if this were my last day on this earth, if something bad were to happen to me, if I were to, have a heart attack, if I were to have a car crash. Would I really feel like I'm doing the best I can do? Would I be okay with that? Would I have a lot of regret about like not having the fire under my ass and doing the best I can do? And that motivates me. And it can be a very powerful source of motivation. It's a reason why a lot of wiser people than me meditate on their own death every day, because your mortality is a great motivator, because it makes you realize that your time is limited, that you only have so much time to do things. So get the fuck up and do things. Go for the things that you want. I know this sounds like cheesy motivational shit. I'm just talking from my heart and my life. Go do those things. Go find out what it is and figure it out as quick as you can, and start to do it as quick as you can. Not just because there's limited time, so you can start to reap those rewards and have a better time, have more better days. Enjoy your life better. You deserve it. You deserve it. And that's another thing you need to hear. It's important for me to put positivity in this world, because I'm so sick and fucking tired of negativity in this world. Is that so many of you out there don't realize how wonderful you are, how great you are, how good of a life you deserve. You do deserve a good life. You may not believe it. A lot of you out there don't believe that you deserve a good life. That's an unfortunate byproduct of psychology, and having a rough start of life, your brain tends to tell you don't deserve a good life, but actually you do. But I mean, what are you doing? If you're getting up and you're starting life, why are you not making the best of it? It's too short. It's too short a time to waste. So, yeah. Very important stuff here. But that's where I'm at with stuff, that's the fire under me to make all these changes that are important to me, because I know who I want to be. I know the person I want to be. I know the only way to get there, and I know the way to not get there is to half-ass everything, is to autopilot things, is to not stay consistent, is to not build big positive habits. There's only one way for me, and it may not be one way for you. My way, or some things in my way, could benefit you. So hopefully, as I share these, they will benefit you. They will make things better for you in some way, shape, or form. I just hope to give something to you, since you're here and you spend your time listening to my crazy talk. Speaking of which, we'll touch on a lot of mental health stuff here. I'm not a therapist. I will just drop nuggets of wisdom. I would like to hope that you have the opportunity to see a therapist. I think everyone can benefit from that. I know not everyone has the resources to see a therapist, because they are expensive, even if you have insurance, unfortunately. It's a shitty state that our country's in. Hopefully some of you outside of this country have better opportunities for mental health care and take advantage of that, because it's life-changing for so many things. But I'll kind of share some nuggets as I learn them with you. And even if you're not a therapist, this can be little pieces of wisdom that you can take in, and maybe it'll make you think about things and give you a different perspective, make something easier for you. We'll talk about that. Specifically, there will be a lot of focus on autism. I am an autistic man who was diagnosed a couple years ago. Our journey is a very difficult journey at best. There's a lot of things that I've figured out that it's like we really need a lot of help. We need a lot of guidance. The world's very confusing to us, unfortunately, and we live in a world where we don't understand ourselves that well. The non-autistic population of the world really doesn't understand us, and how could they? They don't live in our shoes. There's not been a lot of resources put into learning the ins and outs of all this stuff. So unfortunately, a lot of it has to come from grassroots, has to come from those of us who are doing this stuff. I am fortunate enough to have a therapist who is autistic, because she has a professional background of doing these things on a professional level, and she also has the understanding from living this life. We work together every time we work together. Every time we have a session, it's a lot of her teaching me stuff, and it's a lot of me giving her stuff back too. According to her, like I give her a lot of like really good information of like my perspective of what I've gone through. Some things I've kind of figured out. She's like, oh, that's a really good idea. That's a really good thought, those sorts of things. But yeah, I really want to try to help my fellow autistic humans make a better life, because it's so tough. Like for those of us on the spectrum, it's like without that help, it's pretty much impossible to keep a job. It's impossible to keep a relationship. It's very easy to fall in those negative paths. I've seen so many of people with autism that have been pulled down a dark path and become very just shitty people. Well, not shitty people, good people doing shitty things, and they don't realize it. They're just unaware. They're not aware. They're living their life sleepwalking. And hopefully I can, all that like waking up is, in my opinion, it's just being aware of stuff. It's just being aware of who you are, what you're doing, what the world is doing, and what you want to be in that. And I hope I can give that especially to my autistic brothers and sisters out there, give you guys some help, because I am definitely part of that autistic population that struggle with all those things, and it can be better. It really can be. Like that's what I've learned. Last couple months, I've really learned a lot of these things that I thought that were just going to be a pain in the ass with me just blending in with the world. Don't have to be. There's kind of just like methods to manage that, to minimize the pain in the assness of it. But that's another piece of it. With those of us who are autistic, we tend to be big fans of a lot of stuff. So big surprise, there's going to be a lot of fandom stuff on this channel. There's a lot of things that I want to do. I want to have a platform here where we can talk about fandom stuff that a lot of us are into, whether it's like different anime shows, different manga that you read, whatever you want to like, we want to talk about with that kind of stuff. There's a lot of things out there, video games that we're into, books, philosophy, whatever. A platform to talk about all that stuff. I am working on trying to get some of my contacts from when I did music stuff and see if they would like a platform to come on and talk about Berserk or Gungrave or Trigun or whatever that they're into. Because like if you're in the music world, people just want to talk about your new album. And I just have to ask myself, I wonder if they'd like a space where it's like you don't have to talk about your new album. Talk about that show that you love, So I'll put those hooks out there and see what happens. But listen, here's the thing. That's cool and all, but those people are just people like you and me. If you're watching this video right now and you're like, yo, that sounds awesome. Do you think you would like to talk about those things? Because I'll have a lot of topics, right? Like my last video was on Battle Angel Alita. Any of these topics and you see and you're like, I want to come on and talk. This is an open invitation to you too. If you want to come on here, we'll do like a Discord video chat, and you can come talk with me about fandom, about the things that you're passionate about. This is a platform for you as well. This channel is for y'all. It's not just for me. It's for y'all. But yeah, we can talk about stuff. We can watch shows within limits, because YouTube will kick my ass if I share certain copyrighted things. There are some things I found we can watch. It's the cool. Anyway, it tends to be the cooler stuff that doesn't have distribution, so that's fortunate, right? Yeah, so that this is for y'all. This is the platform for all those cool things. Um, and then let's not forget the homies. Uh, if you caught my next to last video, you'll know that I'm working with the Golden Lemon Tribe. Uh, they're friends of mine now that I'm working with. Longtime friends of the Cutting Mat podcast. Those are homies. They very likely will be on here. Lots of groups, other people I'm talking to that will probably come in the fold here as soon as well. Represent all them. Yeah. So yeah, welcome to my channel. There's all the stuff that we do. Hope you like it. Welcome if you're gonna hang out, and hope you all have a good day. And thanks for coming by and listening to me. Goodbye.